didn't know we were supposed to write this down. So I'm just going to reminisce a little bit and see how it goes. So I entered the story, which you guys have heard in bits and pieces. I'm in the Montana section of the story. I was a young philosophy professor. I was 27 years old, started a job recently as a philosophy professor at the University of Montana, and Jake was my student. And at the time, I was like a really weird in-between age to be because I didn't want to hang out with the grown-ups, and I felt weird hanging out with the students. And Jake, one day, brought me to class a mixtape he made me of his favorite Lil Wayne tracks. And I'm talking home and I listened to it, I'm like, this is amazing. And we ended up bonding over it and became really one of the best friends I've ever had in my whole life, is Jake. And man, at the time I had been pretty reclusive, and Jake really gets somebody to go out. Like, Jake will not let you stay home. Every night Jake just wants to be around people, and he made me come. And I had a lot of fun, and I have several tattoos that are his fault. And from the very beginning, though, it took a while before I met her, but he talked about Sophia all the time. And honestly, I was a little surprised that Jake, look at the guy, he is devastatingly handsome. I was a little bit surprised that he wanted to be in a long-term relationship for the entire time he was in Montana, right? And I kind of asked, well, what's the deal? And he insisted that Sophia was the greatest woman in the world, and there was no one else that could ever possibly compare, and I can't wait to meet her. And a couple stories that stick out from that time. So I remember that pretty early on, Sophia started sending Jake links to engagement rings that she liked. And Jake was making $8,000 a year as a graduate student in our department as a teaching assistant. And these rings were like $15,000 or $20,000 rings. And Jake eventually took an empty bottle of Old English malt liquor, and he took like a piece of notebook paper, and he taped it on the bottle, and he wrote Sophia's engagement ring fund. And he sent her a picture of the bottle, and there was like a 5 in there and some nickels. Another thing I remember was that at social gatherings, Jake would always be trying to take selfies of the whole room with him in it and a clock. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, well, Sophia wants me to send her a picture every hour when I'm out of what I'm doing and who I'm with. And he's like, actually, it's a sign of great trust because I negotiated her down from video. I remember, though, that his attitude about this, she also wanted like full access to his Facebook, and anytime there was a new person on Facebook, she wanted the full details of where they had met, who the person was. Right? But his attitude about it was, I really enjoy how much she cares. Right? I really enjoy. And he told me, he was like, listen, you gotta understand, I pursued Sophia for 7 years, and I finally won her over, and now she owns my soul forever. On that note, I'd like to invite you to raise a glass to true love.